Welcome back to From Corporate to Cashflow. We are Andrea Cannon and Liz Schwab, two pharmacists navigating the process of building time and financial freedom through real estate lending and investing while working our day jobs. Navigating the journey is difficult, but our podcast guests are experts in showing us how it's done. And today we have the lovely Iva Norris here with us today. Iva, thank you so much for joining.
Pleasure. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Liz. You're amazing.
Well, Eva, I'm very excited to hear about you and get to know you a little bit more in your journey. So what I would love is if you could start off and let us know basically, like I said, your journey, where you got started, where you are today, and maybe talk a little bit about SheOwns and ReStory as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so my story is a little bit crazy. I am a Brazilian, and 20 years ago, 20 a little bit plus years ago, I was in Brazil and I met a man, American man. We got married and moved to America. The only thing I had was a desire to invest in real estate because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I said, I think you get $1 every time we mention that, right? And and so then when I came to America, but no credit, no experience, no money, and I thought, okay, so how am I going to do this? I just followed the steps laid in the book, and then I joined a real estate investor association. So every class I was attending, so it was $100 per year. I could afford that, right? So then 3 years later, I had bought 28 properties with none of my own money. I learned creative finance from the beginning because I didn't have money, so I have to be creative, and that's exactly what I did. And then I found out, oh, I might have some talent. So
Yeah.
that's how it started.
Wow, that is amazing. I would like to dig into that a little bit more. How did you even hear about, the creative finance aspect, right? Because you said you read the book and then you acquired all these properties without any of your own money. So how did you come about that strategy in the first place?
Okay, so I was at my home, pregnant, and watching TV, and I saw an infomercial about Scott shows now. What's his name? I don't remember his name now, but yeah, I got an infomercial. Buy properties without money. He said, "Oh my God, that's a dream come true. Let's do it."
Yeah.
I got this $300, and then I started to study, and then my English was really poor. So
Mhm.
then I had to go to the script, and it's very interesting. The script was really for beginners. Hi, how are you? Everything was laid out, right? What to be the
Right.
answer, what to ask back. And I was so nervous, and I said, "Oh my gosh, how am I going to talk to this person?" And but I did. I overcome that fear, and I talk, and I was calling like drive and then get for sale sign, right? By owner, and then get the phone and get home and write down and call. So
Yeah.
that's how it started. So and actually it's very funny. My first contract that I purchased, when I say that I buy everything without money, another advice was go to the bank and ask for money, even if you don't have any asset. And then I went to the bank. My husband said, crazy, you don't have collateral. They're not going to give you anything. I didn't pay attention. I went anyways. The bank gave me $20,000 unsecured loan. So I said, oh my gosh, this is working. So, and that is what it was I needed, right, to buy my first property. So actually,
Yeah.
it was the first time and the last time I bought a property from an agent because
Wow.
I didn't know
Yes.
where to go, right, where to find. So that was look at potential. So when I bought this house, subject to took over. Actually, this was with the agent. So, but then I sold as a lease option, and it was $5,000 down. And the buyer came, looked at the property, looks great, amazing. Yes, I want it. They said, fantastic. So here's the agreement. And he said, it's blank. I said, yeah, I need you to fill up for me because my English is not so good. He said,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? I said, no. Do you want the house, right? Yeah. So please do that. He said, okay. So he filled up the form for me. So when he finished the first one, I said, I hand the other one. No, you're kidding me. So, yeah, I need my copy unless you want to go somewhere to take a copy. Okay, so he did that. And then I asked, okay, give me my 5,000. That you know how to do, right? I said, absolutely. So yeah, that's how I bought my first house. Actually, sold. bought and
So
sold.
you've been doing this for over 20 years now, right?
Yes.
And you've closed on over 200 properties, is that correct?
I had done over 200 creative finance properties in 3 different countries:
Wow.
Australia, Brazil, and America. Because,
Wow.
yeah, in Brazil, I was buying land and
Uh-huh.
selling for 5, 7 years as owner finance, right? And being creative as well as buying land in Brazil. So in Australia, I created a property development company where I was helping homeowners to subdivide and develop their land without spending any of their money.
Okay.
Basically, I was partnering with them to subdivide their land, do 2 properties, make 2 properties on the land. They get one, I get one. So
Okay. Very creative.
I
Yeah.
had to be creative because I was in Atlanta, Georgia, buying the property for 150,000, 50, 150. And then I said, go to Australia. Oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. I'm going to buy so many properties. No, because the average price of Melbourne properties, $1 million. So
Yeah. Oof.
I
Yeah.
have
Hard
to
to
be creative
acquire.
again, right?
Right,
Nothing can
right, right.
stop me. Nothing. I have to do it.
Wow, that's amazing, right? To your point, coming and learning all of this and then going from zero to over 200 and doing it all without your own money, like that's crazy, like in a good way, right? And so can you talk a little bit more though about SheOwns and ReStory though? I'm super interested to hear a little bit more about those.
Yeah, SheOwns is a mastermind, a club that I created to help women to start in real estate, or even those that are already doing real estate. They don't believe that they can build wealth without have money. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I bring them in and show them, show and tell. I show them how I did and how they can do as well. So my passion to empower them, give them possibilities of financially free, right? Become financially free. And so when Curatio owns, and I hold a monthly mastermind that we get together like 15 to 25 women. And I go through the process of buying property, selling property, how to find the deal, how to manage their portfolio, case studies, everything that I've done and how I did. And showing that all my portfolio, my entire portfolio is infinite return. I have none of my own money invested in any of my properties. That's possible. So I teach them how to do that. But I create She Owns to help another type of women that are out there and suffering with the trauma of sexual abuse. So this is my passion to reach to them and bring them to go through a program that I have 13-week program to bring heal from their trauma, right? So myself
Yeah.
as a survivor of sexual abuse. So that's what I'm passionate about, to help women to come to forward. And it's very interesting because this was just an idea, right? I said, okay, I'm going to create She Owns. I bring these women, and at the end of every meeting, I'm going to go and bring up ReStory, right? So, and then I tell about my passion and how I help women to overcome sexual abuse trauma. And then I ask them if anybody here know anybody that needs help, just come and talk to me. And then it was very interesting that today I start my program like 5 weeks ago because it's 13-week program, and the 4 women from this group came forward and said, I need help. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it's
Yeah.
working, because that's exactly
Yeah.
what I was looking for, right? I just connect the dots, right? I am investor and I hustle every day to buy and to make things happen, to become financially free. Might have other women over there that need the same thing. So
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
happens.
I think that's so great, right? You're using your passion in real estate and then helping another group of individuals that really need help. So I love that there's a connection there. So thank you for that. That is obviously much needed. And I'm very thankful for people who take the time, to support others in those situations. So that's great. And you said that was only been going on for 5 weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, so I started my first group 5 weeks ago, and it's my first, right? Because I decided to do that was in September of last year, and then I just go it when when you get the call to do what you need to do, and
Yeah.
even though you want to resist, but the higher power is there to bring you and say yes, just trust
Right.
and just do it. And of course, I had no idea that I could do this, but I'm so
Yeah.
happy that I I'm doing it because it's
Yeah. No, I
yeah.
mean, clearly you have the ability, right? The fact that you've closed over 200 properties, and have done it all without your own money, I think that you have obviously a lot of skills here, especially to help those other women. So kudos to you for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I loved it. I love what I do.
I love that. The other thing I love about this is for my first reaction when I heard that you could buy properties without any of your own money was definitely like scam. Like, oh my gosh, that can't be real. And you're like, yes, I'm doing it. And I love that. And I mean, I think, it's really amazing to see you come from Brazil, you're here in the US and you're like taking action immediately. Like, I think so many people would see all the barriers and roadblocks that are in place and maybe not do the action, but you did the complete opposite, which is so cool. And it's one of those things like if, you can do it, it's such an inspiration for other people, right? Who maybe don't even have all of the barriers that you even mentioned, or maybe they do have those. I mean, it's still just super inspirational. So I'm glad that you're sharing this with us because I think you're going to inspire a lot of people.
Yes, I hope so.
So I'd love to hear just about the biggest lesson you have learned so far in your journey with 200 properties and this, these side passion projects. I want to hear what that biggest lesson has been.
Okay, so when I went to Georgia, right? So I joined Georgia. I'm gonna go to every single free classes I was learning. And then one day I sat next to this guy, and he has his brochure, his letterhead, and business card, and so beautiful and shiny. I said, "Oh my God, that's amazing!" And then I didn't have any of this. And then I asked this guy, "Hey, how long have you been investing in real estate?" He said, "For a year now." Fabulous. How many properties do you get? He said, well, I was getting ready. So now that I have my company set up, my bank account, all my letterhead, my brochures and everything, I can get started. I said, oh my God. And then I thought to myself, did I do everything wrong? And he asked me, how many properties did you buy? I said, 4. But I don't have a company. I don't have a bank account. I don't have a business card. So the lesson is this: you don't have to be prepared. Like, stop doing the background what you're going to need in the future, because what you need now is a deal. Because if you don't have a deal, you have nothing. So why you open a company for? Right? So just jump, just go ahead and do it. I was talking to a couple, brand new. They are nurses, and I love nurses. I think they are amazing because they're serving all of us. And then I telling them, and they said, yeah, I work so much. And said, hey, just stop excuses, okay? If you really want this, you just go ahead and do it. And don't get ready. Just go get the first deal. You don't have to do money much. Just go try for $1. Find a property, knock on the door, and that's it. And that's what I did when I got to Australia, right? And I was knocking door here in America, so I can door knock there. And like, I got a deal, like $1 million deal. I did very persistent. And then I was able to get $65,000 on my first deal in Australia, just because I went there and insist, because I was door knocking, but not one time, many times in the same house, because I said, that must be it, because this house is incredible, right? You know what incredible I'm talking about, right? It's like it's very strange and a very beautiful neighborhood. I said, no, something's wrong here. And that's exactly what happened. So be persistent and just do it.
I
It's
was
awesome.
just about to say, so persistent, right? So
Yeah.
would you agree that things kind of snowball, like once you start taking action, like you start maybe just start doing it and then just builds and builds and builds? That's what it sounds like kind of happened for you, right?
Exactly. And then also Australia. The salary in Australia is crazy. Everything is expensive in Australia. And
Mm.
so then I said, okay, I needed to hire an assistant, like $700 per week in assistant. I just got in Australia. I say, how am I going to do that? Right. So, and then I just, you know what? I have to do it. because I was day in and out, I was in the office paying bills and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
I'm not making money. Okay, I got my credit card. I bring this girl in. Then she could do the stuff in the office, and I went door knock. That's how I could do it, right? And
Hmm.
off, like I said, $65,000 later, yeah, pay the credit card, pay everything. So I started my business was enough for me to create a proper development in Australia. So,
Right, right. And like, I know so many of us start out door knocking, which can be
mhm,
obviously very intimidating.
mhm.
Um, Maybe a silly question, but are you still door knocking now?
No, I found
Okay.
out something amazing to find sellers, right? Motivated sellers. And I learned when I came to Dallas, Texas, because I went all over the place, as you can tell, Brazil, Atlanta, Dallas, in Australia. So when I came to America, 2019, I spent the entire year without getting any lead because I'm again starting over again. I was 10 years away from America. In Texas, I'd never been in Texas right before and buy properties. Oh my gosh, how to do that? Of course, again, I joined a club, a real estate investor association. But what I was doing is door knocking, yellow letters, cold calling was crazy and tiring. The entire year, I didn't get anything. And then I had to figure out how to make this easier because I didn't sign up for this. I want to be in front of the sellers. I want to talk to buyers. I don't want to be, spend my time hours and hours and not get anything. So then
Right.
I did the research and I learned that if I start to invest in digital marketing, it's going to be like 3 to 6 months before I start to get the return. And I'm going to spend like 3 to 5 thousand per month. And I said, that's crazy. What am I going to do? Because it's a lot of money and no deal until 6 months. So what I did, I put together 10 investors and say, let's go 500 each. Let's create this thing. Sure enough, 6 months later, we get like 75 leads per month. I said, yes, that worked. So 7 each, let's go. So, and I never stopped since then, right? So
Yeah. Right,
this
right,
is brilliant because I don't have to do anything. Just turn on and off the machine. So it's too many
yeah,
leads coming in. Okay, you can't handle, turn off. And you're not going to lose the momentum because if you're doing yourself, yes, you're going to lose the momentum
right,
because that's a social media, right? But because I'm with the third party company that they don't stop, they are marketing, marketing, marketing. So the only thing they're not going to send lead to me when I say no. So, and that's what I did today. So digital marketing, when I'm ready, just open up the marketing and I can get as many as I want. The only thing I have to do, increase the budget or lower the budget. That's it.
that totally makes sense. So obviously your systems have kind of highly developed since the door knocking days, right? So what I'm interested in hearing now is, what kind of habits do you have, or do you have anything that you do on a daily basis that helps you stay on track to achieve the goals that you're going towards right now?
It's always a battle, right? We fight with yourself every morning. Oh my gosh, a bed or work, what I do. So you have to develop habits. If you don't have, so then you're going to be trapped because you get up in the morning. At the end of the day, what did you do? Nothing. So to move the needle, you have to have discipline. And I learned with Jamil Temji, right? Not that I learned, we already know meditation, breath work, but we don't do it, right? So, and then I said, okay. And well, he was on the phone with me. Hey, I'm going to send this, do it. And I said, okay. So I did it. I called him last day. It's amazing. It's working. It's fantastic because when I do the breath work in the morning and meditate, and then I come up with everything that I have to get done in that day, the dreams that I have in my mind and I want to bring forward, everything comes to light and then you just get up and start to write it down and go to work. And that's what I do every day. And of course, if sometimes it doesn't work, we cannot, sometimes something happen you don't do, right? But I feel the pain if I don't. And I get the joy when I do it.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I think that a lot of times we tend to, or not you, obviously, but some individuals tend to push those things aside, right? Like working out, mindset, yoga, being intentional, and just having that quiet time. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of times it makes you more productive, right? Because you're more relaxed, more aligned with what you want, and you're just able to sit with your thoughts, right? So I do think that those are very important, but I do think that at times it's easy for some people to, be like, well, I'll do that later. And then it just like never happens, right?
And that's I'm sorry, and that's the reason I stopped trying to go to the gym after work. No, it's now or never. Let's go. You know, force yourself. Just get out of there, go. And if you're late, just go anyways. I mean, I cannot do an hour. Doesn't matter. Go. 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever you have that minute, just do it because it makes a huge difference.
I love that. And I think it really shows in real estate and in these other activities that you do, right, for your lifestyle, right? The breath work and everything. Your attitude is to just do it. And I really love that approach because I think it's make sure that people take action and get the things done that they need to get done. So it's really awesome. I'd love to hear if you have a piece of advice in about 30 seconds for people who are just getting started on their financial independence or real estate journey. What would that be?
Okay, so a coach. This is the fastest way for you to go and get what you want, right? Get somebody that knows what you want to do and just trust and work together. Don't doubt, no nothing, right? So get somebody that is knowledgeable in what you want to do, glue to them, learn everything that they have to teach you, even if you have to give your deal. I did that when I came to Dallas, right? And so I gave up 1, 2, 3 deals to be able to learn. So that's why I was able to get where I am today.
And what advice do you have to someone that's trying to find the best coach for them, right? Because not every coach is going to work for everyone. So, like, say someone wanted to work with you, like, how would you describe yourself as a coach?
So, every person, they have to have a synergy, right? So even the person is knowledgeable and know everything that you want to know and learn. If you don't have that chemistry and synergy, doesn't make any sense because you have to fall in love with that what that person is teaching you and with the person too, in like the business way I'm talking about. So if you don't have that synergy, just trust your gut. Just go ahead and look for somebody else. We are in this amazing community with Pace and Jamil that, yes, with 15, 20,000 people, I'm sure you're going to find a coach to help you to start this career. But don't stop. Don't wait. Just do it now, not tomorrow. It's now. Pick up the phone and say, hey, I want you to be my coach. Can you help me? That's it. Just do it.
Yeah, you probably don't regret taking action, right? Like, probably you'll make mistakes, but the sooner you do it, the better.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
totally align with that. And then on the pathway of like financial independence or making passive income, obviously, since Andrea and I are pharmacists, we're very interested in real estate just so we can supplement and, have that time and financial freedom moving forward. And Andrea is a big traveler, and I have a lot on my bucket list. And so it sounds like obviously you've been to different areas as well with Australia and these other areas that you've mentioned. So can you tell us, are there any travels on your ultimate bucket list or any upcoming travels that you already have planned?
Oh my gosh, I don't really plan because whatever I want to do whenever I want to do. So, but I knew that this year would be a lot of travel, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to masterminds and I go to retreats. I'm here now in Monterey. We are here in Monterey to have this amazing time with high level people that are already doing what we want to do, right? And learn even more from them. So I went to Malta last year. That was epic. I said, oh my gosh, it's amazing. So, and I want to go back to Malta this year, but also go to Amalfi Coast and all this part of Italy that I didn't explore yet. And that's what I want to do this year.
That sounds amazing. I am obsessed with travel, as Liz mentioned, and I haven't been to Malta. And so it sounds like that it needs to go higher on the list for me.
Yeah, this is absolutely amazing. And if you get some place on the water, it's absolutely fantastic. I was in awe all the time. I felt like I was in a movie scene every day, all the time. Even the people talking. And actually, a fun factor. My name is Eva with IVA, and their word yes is Eva. So wherever I go, Iva, hey. Hi. And one day this guy passed by and he was talking to me, Iva, because I go walk in the morning. I stay 1 month in Malta, right, to get to know the locals. And this guy, Iva, I said, hi, how are you doing? So it was absolutely fantastic. I love the people there. I met Brazilians there, made friends with a lot of people. I was able to make a party, with the amount of people that I met there. That's crazy. I
I
love
could
it.
see that. I could see that just from your name, and you seem very like approachable and easy to get along with too, right? So just
Yeah.
accumulates. Well, hey, we've certainly enjoyed getting to know you a little bit better, and I'm super impressed with your journey. I think it just goes to show, like we've said so many times during this recording, that taking action really matters. Even if it's imperfect action, just doing it will ultimately get you somewhere, right? And with your persistence and mindset, well, it'll be great to see like what even happens in the next years. So if anyone listening does want to get in touch with you and learn more about, your pathway, work with you on deals, hear more about ReStory, what is the best way that they can get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is very easy and simple. www.meetwithiva.com. 15 minutes, we get to know each other. If you have synergy, you want to work together, then we can schedule more time. But yeah, meetwithiva.com. That's it.
Well, awesome. And we really appreciate your time today. I know that you are here in Monterey. We're headed to this mastermind. So I know this took a little bit of time away from your schedule and your day. So we really appreciate having you on. And I know that a lot of people will be able to learn from you. And so we really appreciate that. And so thank you, everyone, for listening to this week's episode of From Corporate to Cashflow. We are looking forward to catching you next week.
Thank you so much.